Hey viewers, I'm so excited to welcome you to another episode with Ask Akshay. I'm really excited today to be interviewing Arnav Patodia, one of our top counselors in India. We're going to talk about Arnav's journey from India to Singapore and all the way to university, and now back with us as a top performing counselor in AddedSport India. We're so excited. We're talking to Arnav live right here. Welcome, Arnav. How are you doing? We're so excited to be talking to you a little bit about your journey.
Thanks, Akshay. It's great to be here, and I'm very excited to be a part of this journey at AddedSport.
Ladies and gentlemen, Arnav is one of the top performing counselors in India. He went to Haverford College. He went on a college tennis route. He was a strong IB student at United World College in Singapore. And now we're so happy to say that he's one of our top counselors living in India. So we're talking a little bit about Arnav's experience in full circle. Talk a little bit about your journey. How did it all start for you?
I'm originally from a small town in India called Kochi, and I wasn't getting the exposure I would have liked. And therefore, me and my family, we decided to take the decision to move to Singapore, to UWC, one of the top international schools in the world. And at UWC, I think it was just a life-changing experience for me. I was living in the boarding house over there. I was living with people from 50 different nationalities. So it was just amazing to be able to learn about different cultures, different experiences. And I think that experience at UWC really set me up well for college in the US. And tennis has been a huge part of my life. I'm very passionate about the sport. And ever since I moved to Singapore, I knew that I wanted to continue to play tennis in college. And having that opportunity was going to be very special for me. And therefore, I was excited to work with Akshay. We had a great experience working together, and I was lucky enough to get recruited to play tennis at Haverford College. So Haverford College is a Division III liberal arts college in the US. It's in Philadelphia, in Pennsylvania. It's a pretty small college, but I think just the whole experience of being part of a team, just being part of a student athlete at a college, wherein I was able to balance both academics and tennis was an amazing experience for me. I'm guessing very similar to a lot of student athletes at that stage in grade 11, grade 12, didn't know a lot about US sport, about just colleges in general in the US. And therefore, AddedSport really helped me out. One, in terms of getting a better understanding of the situation in the US, in terms of the colleges from an academic standpoint. And of course, from an athletic standpoint as well. I think AddedSport really helped me in terms of getting in contact with coaches, the process of how you would go about doing that. I think that was very helpful. And of course, in terms of actually going to the US, helping me in setting up meetings with coaches and getting a physical meeting with them, I think was very helpful for me, because that ultimately gives me the best experience as to what I would expect to receive once I were to go to college. So I think that was probably the biggest plus point of my journey with AddedSport.
Talk about your college experience. Was it a natural fit from the first day on, or did it take a while for you to get into it? Did you excel academically? Talk a little bit about your experience.
So the college experience for me was definitely the best experience of my life. I think it was the best 4 years that I could have ever imagined. I would say, I think the college experience is being part of a college team, being part of a college sport team, athletic team in the US, I think is an experience that you would not be able to receive anywhere else. Just being part of a team, interacting with your teammates, having that relationship with your coach. I think all of these aspects help you not only on the court, but also with your academics, with in general your social life as well. You tend to hang out with your teammates very often outside the court as well. Very often you live together in a dorm, you study together, you work together, you go out for meals, for parties together as well. So I think just that experience of being part of a team really, really makes your college experience like tenfold better.
The fact that you are a student athlete and you're academically strong as well as athletically strong, and how did you actually balance that?
I think that it takes three different aspects. So one, I would say, is just hard work. The second, I would say, is time management. And the third, I would say, is passion. So with hard work, I think naturally being able to balance two facets of your life that are so important for you, I think I would say you do require a lot of hard work. So you do need to put in a lot of effort on the field and use that time well off the field to be able to catch up on your work and make sure that you are well caught up to be able to play these tournaments and miss school for a couple of days to be able to really improve your rankings and play more and gain that experience. And the second thing I said is time management. So time management is really important because when you do play a sport and when you do have your academics, there are a bunch of different activities and tasks that you do need to complete each week, each day even. So to be able to balance that, I think is very important to manage your time well. And I would say the best thing to do is just to plan your week ahead, or if you'd like, even plan the day ahead in the morning you wake up or the night before. I think that's really important. And finally is the one thing, I would say the most important thing is just passion, because if you do have passion for your sport, that will really help you take your effort to the next level and be able to really be committed to the sport and really be able to put in that extra effort, that extra 5% that's required to be able to make it to college, the ultimate experience for a student athlete.
You're a perfect example of someone who's been through the journey with us as a client and using your experiences as a client, then a student athlete, and now you're delivering those experiences back to families. Tell me something that a family can benefit from having you on their team.
So I think just having been through the process, knowing the experiences as to what exactly a student athlete needs to know in order to make that decision, what exactly do the parents want to know to be able to have that comfort level with regards to sending their child away to the US. I feel like I have that experience and the knowledge as to what information is required from their end. I think personally for me, I would say a couple of important points for families and for student athletes. One is to actually, for the parents as well, to interact with the college coaches and for them to have that experience and to have that comfort in sending their child away to the US. And also in general, having been through the entire college experience, I feel like I can help the student athlete figure out what their priorities are, and then based on that, give them suggestions as to which college or which type of college they would be best able to thrive in.
That's fantastic. I think for our viewers who are watching this, really care a lot about knowing, does AddedSport have what it takes to have the top-notch counselors as well as the top delivery process? So could you talk a little bit about your onboarding into the AddedSport culture, the AddedSport system? How was that? You've been here for a while now. How was the integration process?
So the journey of sort of being a college athlete to now joining AddedSport and helping student athletes such as myself has been very smooth. I think just having been a client for AddedSport and being a college athlete meant that I did know a lot about just in general the processes and how it worked. But I think AddedSport really helped me in terms of some details. I think the trainings were extremely helpful in setting up a foundation as to how to deliver the knowledge and the experience that I have, because I think the experiences that I have were very important, and I think I do have a lot of experience having been an athlete, but just in terms of delivering that and knowing what to say, when to say, I think that's where AddedSport really helped me in the initial first couple of months. And I think the trainings were also very helpful just in terms of setting myself up to deliver the best possible service that I can. And I think trainings is something that we really value very highly here at AddedSport. We continue to have trainings even if you've been here for a year or for 2 years, and I think that's what really sets us apart, because we adapt ourselves to the current situation. We have trainings that deal with what exactly is going on in the US right now and how to use that experience and how to convey that to families as well. So I would say trainings definitely have been very helpful, and I think AddedSport has a clear process and a very good system of setting up new hires. So that's been very, very useful for me.
That's great. That's great to hear that there's a process, there's a system, there's a structure. What about some of the learnings that you've found out about yourself through this journey with AddedSport? You've become a contributing member to this company. A lot of families work with you. What are some of the things that you've realized about yourself in your own personal development journey?
So I think this experience has been a eye-opening experience for me. I think just it's been interesting. I think one thing I've learned is just how I can use my experiences to help the people around me. I think that's something that I've really learned and developed over these past couple of months. It's obviously also, I think it's just been interesting and to hear about other people's experiences in dealing with the current situation. I think just the whole mindset of people right now, I think it's just been a little off, and like some people are a little skeptical as to what to expect, what's going to happen. And I think just being part of a company that is so collaborative and that, they really are with you in the entire way has helped me in terms of just helping me figure out what my future, what it lies, and how to develop as a person, even when you can't leave your house for over 4 months. So I think just that has been a good experience for me for sure.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for being part of our journey, Arnav. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for being a top performing counselor. Ladies and gentlemen, here we come to a close with Ask Akshay interview with Arnav Patodia. As usual, press the share button, subscribe below, or like us on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn.
I'm a counselor at AddedSport, and I hope you choose AddedSport. Dream big.